Hello.
Hi.
Randy, I was gonna try and have the beach behind me tonight. I haven't gotten to pull up the picture yet. I'll see if I have time before people come on.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, hi Heather.
Hi. Hey, I like your background, Randy.
I'm on the Odyssey. That's actually the pod right there, and then the pod bay doors in the way back. Hal's really been acting up lately. It's a long trip.
I have to move some lights around. We're having one of those nights in my house where absolutely everybody is on a class or a meeting right now, so space is limited.
I had a hard time getting in with the link again. Did you guys get in okay with that link?
It took me a while, but I think Sydney just had to get me out of the waiting room.
Yeah, mine. It took a while to even I went into a different week's, and actually I ended up going into the email because the link that's on the calendar didn't work.
Oh, I didn't go on the calendar.
Yeah.
I stay away from the calendar.
I live on the calendar.
Karen,
There's
I didn't move you in at all, so you must have just automatically gone in somehow.
Oh, I was waiting for the longest time, and then it said, if you're the host, sign in now.
Oh, I think it's just because Sydney didn't start the meeting until right at 7.
7.
Is anybody else on?
Yeah, we have 11 so far.
11 people total.
Okay.
So it wasn't successful, obviously, but I was trying to put the beach background behind me because all day I've been kind of consumed with the weather. So I thought maybe if I can just pretend that I'm on a nice beach for a little while, it will help. All right, so we've got about 6 people joining us so far. So I'll just quickly start and say hello to everybody. I really don't have a lot of news tonight. We seem to be in a really nice stride with everything right now. And I do know that a lot of people are still asking about the end of the year. So hopefully they got the newsletter saying that the board's going to be discussing the end of the year and summer programming and making some decisions about that this coming Tuesday night. But other than that, I'm just going to start handing it right over to Heather.
Sure. I don't have a lot to report either. We're kind of at the point where we are looking at our typical end of the year projects, like we're starting to talk about placement and planning for summer programming. So it's those normal end of the year things that we're working on. There are some events that we're going to try to do virtually, and then there are some other events that we are not going to be able to do. Like, for example, the question has come up about Civil War Day. We are not going to do a Civil War Day, but the plan is that the kids who are currently in 5th grade next spring, when we do Civil War Day, they'll be part of that. And the 5th and 6th grade teachers have already worked that out, so they'll do that unit together. So those big events that we aren't able to do, we're going to find a workaround. So that's it for us. If you were a parent and you haven't had a chance to do your placement feedback for us, please hop onto that link and give us your feedback, because we're going to be looking at placement for next year.
It's kind of strange. Heather and I were talking earlier this week that it's strange that we're just talking about kind of the normal things now. You know, we're talking about the normal end of the year things that we would be talking about. And so I take that as a very good sign. Okay, Chris.
Just to follow up with that, Heather, kids are a little bit worried that we're not going to do a step-up day. And I did let them know that this week I let them know that we are going to try and do one virtually.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to let everybody know about this new book that just came out. It's called Something Bad Happened, and it's by child psychologist Dawn Huebner. It's a kid's guide to coping with events in the news, and it's for 6 to 12-year-olds, but it's definitely something that you would want to do with your child. I'm going to read it at my 2:00 Tuesday group. If you want your child to come to that, just email me. But she also on Dawn's website, she is reading it. And it is not specific to COVID-19, although timely, but it doesn't share any information about COVID-19. It just teaches kids some coping skills. It's plays on their strengths and gives them some coping strategies too. So it's a really timely book.
That's great. Thank you. How are your lunch bunches going?
They're going really, really well. We've combined a couple now that we've realized that we're not limited to the size of my office. We've combined a couple. So all the second grade girls are coming tomorrow together. So that'll be nice.
And your floor is staying a bit cleaner, I bet.
Yes, yes.
I've had some kids want to hang out with me in Google Hangouts, and that's been really fun. I've gotten to see Legos and trains and all kinds of toys and pets, and I love having that time to visit with them. So, feel free to let them message me or hang out with me.
I was able to join the first grade Zoom morning meeting once this week, and it's just the visual activity is kind of hard to keep up with. I find myself there's just so much movement all at once. It's really fun. Karen, how are things with you?
Great. I returned all the student medications on Monday. And so if you were expecting something and didn't receive it, please let me know as soon as possible. I also, when I was in my office last Friday, grabbed the 6th grade files so that I can get them up to the middle school. So any 6th grade parents, if you are not planning on sending your student to the middle school, Lebanon Middle School that is, please let me know. And so I will keep their chart at GBS to send to wherever they actually are going. I know that I've talked to Mrs. Pagiu at the middle school, and she's anxious to get started in reading everybody's charts and getting up to date on all her Grantham kids that are going to be coming in. So,
Karen, do you want to offer your public service announcement to everybody who's on tonight about the numbers?
In passing out all the medications, there was a fair amount of houses that I really had to pay attention to other people's street or address numbers, because there was no marking on the particular driveway I was going into. So if you want to make sure that the ambulance, the fire department, the police, the school nurse can get to your house, please make sure the number is at the end of your driveway and easily read. Just, something to work on while you're home.
Thanks.
And then I Zoomed on Tuesday with the 6th grade, and it was really fun to see all of those faces. So, and I gave them
happy birthday to you?
I think it slipped by them, but I was able to give them a tour of my little project that I'm working on at the hospital. So,
oh, cool.
And they didn't want any more details about how far back the COVID swab goes.
Great, thank you very much. Randy, there's a question that's up in the chat right now, and actually maybe that's something you could answer during your update. So there's a question: my daughter is in kindergarten. My wife and I find that having tasks for different subjects, such as PE, in different locations can be hard to keep track of. Is there any way to consolidate the deliverables into one location? But while we're on here, there's a big thank you to Karen.
Sure, I can address that question. This was actually something that the Unified Arts team went around and around about, trying to figure out the best way for them to communicate the things that they need to get to the classrooms. And after considering all the options, we decided that the best way to do that was to have one Unified Arts classroom and a regular classroom. And, unfortunately, that gives you 2 places to look. But what you might do is very often when you're clicking on a particular classroom thing, you tend to stay in just that classroom. If you back out just a little bit, there's sort of 3 lines at the top that we call the hamburger. If you click that, it'll show you both of the classrooms, and if there's something due that day, it will show up right on the front of that, and then you can drive into it. So I know some of the higher grades had multiple classrooms for each subject and everything else, and I've tried to get the teachers to take those down and make it so they really only have two things. One is the regular classroom and unified arts. And if that's okay, we're trying to keep it to a minimum, but that's really what we're aiming for. So apologies if that's still overwhelming. I get it, but that's the best we can do.
Well, I think it's also a nice big improvement over all the UAs having different places, you know, all over the place. So yeah, it definitely does consolidate.
Right. And the problem we were having was that some of it was on the website, some of it was in some classes, some of it not in other classes. And there was really no easy mechanism for certain grades to be able to turn things in. And I think that it's not a perfect solution, but it's the one I think that works best of the bad solutions that we have. So apologies for that, but it's the best we can do. As far as other tech stuff that's going on, I think things seem to be doing pretty well with most people. I haven't heard anything other than sort of one-off issues here and there. I'm going to be kind of a broken record here again and just say these kids all have great powers now and they enjoy exercising them. So anything you can do to remind them about their responsibility that goes with that is always helpful. So staying safe and respectful and responsible online. Other than that, I am going to try and start up some of the classes for tech again here a little bit besides just tech team, with a focus on just that, on digital citizenship. And there's a class that I just put out for 6th grade, and I'm just going to try and make very short little things to help remind the kids of their obligations. So other than that, I'm happy to take any questions people have in the chat.
Thank you.
I want to just say kudos to parents who took the advice of the teachers in the Friday letter. We're really pleased to see kids showing up to classes, not laying down and sitting at the table and being more engaged as if it's a typical school day. That's really been helpful. And the teachers have noticed right away this week that kids were way more engaged. So thank you for doing that.
That's great. So in the chat, we have a thanks for the first question asked, and I think I should, and he's saying, I think I should add the team at GVS is doing a stellar job. So thank you very much. We're trying every day, and I was just writing up my report for the board today, and I just started out with every single day there's a new challenge and a new opportunity. So I think every day we're finding something that we have to tackle, but it's also opening up an opportunity to do something in a new way that we haven't done before. So we're definitely finding the positive in everything. Lauren Luce added, and Lauren is, has been doing so much with our technology too. Thank you for that. So she added, assignments do gray out when you turn them in, so it's nice to look down classwork and see what you still have to do or turn in. So that's great. Thank you for that advice. Okay, any other questions that we have tonight? We'll open it up to everybody. Okay. I think we're good. Again, I'll take it as a good sign that things are going smoothly for everybody, but I'll be the broken record this time and just say you never have to wait to Thursday to ask a question. So just get in touch with any of us who you need, because we're all home, first of all. And we love contact when we get it. So yeah, feel free to get in touch with us. Okay. Anybody have any last words for tonight? All right, great. We'll see everybody next Thursday, but hopefully I will see a lot of people Zooming into our board meeting on Tuesday night. Okay, we'd love to have you there with us.
I do want to plug the website. I think there's a nice little poetry thing that's been put up, and you know, Mr. Pollard again has the Olympics going. So if you still want to beat the staff from Djibouti, you better get your students, you know, in gear and get those medals.
Well, I heard the kindergarten pulled ahead this week. Are they still ahead?
Last I looked, I think they were right up there. I think 5th grade and kindergarten are back and forth, but it's real close with the faculty. Always competitive.
Okay, good.
Sydney, the school board meeting still at 6:30. Where do we find the link?
It'll be on the GVS website, and we'll put it out on Facebook too.
It's already there.
It's already there. Thank you, Randy. Yeah, and I want to let everybody know, when you do join the board meeting, you still have the opportunity to do public input. You know, you can still ask questions, you can still use the chat, you can use the Q&A feature, raise your hand. You know, it's still interactive, and it's a great time for us to hear from you. And I know the board really appreciates that kind of input and feedback and participation. So we will hopefully see you Tuesday night.
Cinco de Mayo.
Okay. All right. That's right. It's Cinco de Mayo. It'll be great. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Bye.